Hi guys, and welcome to the FireButton Podcast.
Number 13.
Number 13.
Lucky for some.
On the podcast is myself, Steve.
Tom.
Harry.
Jay.
And our topics today are going to be simply, what have we been playing? And when you make a video game character, what do you normally do? Which sounds vague, but isn't. So anyway.
One, potentially.
Yeah. Without further ado.
What have we been playing?
So what have we been playing then, guys?
Well, I've been playing Wonder Boy Monsterland.
Okay, I've never actually played that.
Good shout.
Yes, it's a game from my childhood which I played on the Sega Master System. Well, I got the original arcade version on the Sega Vintage Collection on the Xbox 360 Live Arcade.
Yeah.
And compared to the Sega Master System version, the arcade one is a complete rip-off. It hates you. It's the definition of tough love, because arcade machine...
Makes money.
Yeah, it was designed to steal coins off players, and so it's like the Master System version with the difficulty ramped up to 111, and for some reason, I'm still attempting to beat it.
It looks pretty, though.
Do you save scum it? Save states or anything like that?
Kinda, yeah.
Is that the only way to do it?
I think, well, I'm going to try that, because I got as far as I couldn't be asked continuing anymore, and I'm like, but I've got so far, like, stage 7, I think, out of
Is that
12.
the one where there's that knight just constantly jabbing you with the sword and it wouldn't let you out of
That's
the recoil
the one.
animation
It is,
so
yeah.
that you could... Oh.
Sounds like a very similar version, because I've got that game, I've got it on the PlayStation store, on the PS3 installed.
Yeah.
And it's very much, I think
It will be
I
the
can
same.
identify with
one,
that.
different
A coin
platform.
collector.
Because it has, the reason I got the collection is it has 3 Monsterland games. It's Wonder Boy Monster World, Monsterland,
Land and World.
Wonder Boy Monster World, which is on the Mega Drive. I still have the cartridge. I have completed it. And Monster World 4, I think it is, that didn't come out over here. Wasn't, it was Japanese only. And for the collection, they translated it. And it's like the first time it's been available over here. And
cool.
because I like the series in general,
Okay.
I wanted to play it.
Assuming
played that.
I'm a total, shut-in when it comes to this, what kind of game is it? I've never played it.
Platform hack and slash with RPG elements.
Okay, so what, like...
Think side-scrolling Zelda, only not shit like Zelda 2.
Only not shit like the side-scrolling
Yeah.
Zelda.
Yeah, not shit like the
Side-scrolling,
side-scrolling Zelda.
platforming.
It was the
building
first.
up your coins.
It was the first
think it
one
was
of the
like-
pair that had you use an ocarina to play tunes and get access to new areas.
Doki Doki Panic with weapons and armour.
Yeah, better armour,
Oh,
better
okay.
swords. It's
guess.
it's a really good little game.
So
Really good
it's a
little game.
baby's first Metroidvania without the levels
Without the Metroidvania.
all over it?
Wonder Boy Monsterland isn't. It's linear progression, but yeah, you could say it's Metroidvania-esque.
Oh, okay, cool. All right then. Well, who's up next? Who wants to say what they've been playing?
Yeah, go on then. I've been on the Xbox One, and I've been playing a good little game called The Escapists.
The
The
Escapists.
Escapists.
Oh, it's a Team
Escapists.
17 thing, that.
Is it?
It is.
Okay, where is it?
It is a prison simulator, an escape from prison
okay.
simulator. Graphics very sort of...
It looks pixely from what
Yeah,
promos
it
I've
is.
seen.
It is that pixely sort of thing that's the in thing at the minute. And it's really good. I'm still sort of on the first level, but it's...
So difficult
different.
then, or out your comfort zone?
Not at the minute.
What kind of
Not
game
at
is
the
it? Is it a serious one, or is it a comedy thing, or is it somewhere in between?
It's not. It's not very serious. It's like I say, very cartoony, pixely. You can go the right way about it. Like you can get your sort of in prison job and things like that. Be good and behave and sort of.
Oh, where's the fun in that?
Yeah, exactly. Or
Get a spoon
in the
and
vents.
trowel your way
yeah. Yeah, Shawshank this shit.
out. Oh dear.
But yeah, like I said, just getting into it. But that's what the most interesting one I've been playing this week.
Oh, okay. All right.
More to come. More to come.
See, I've been rocking it up with some fighting game goodness. I say fighting game, it's a bit more aerial battle. It's like Virtual On, but with Dragon Ball Z characters. Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
I knew you were going to say
Yeah, I was
Xenoverse.
playing a shitload of it.
No.
It's addictive. I now have a Saiyan called Cabo, and she can go Super Saiyan, and she's got all of Vegeta's moves. I'm a grown-up that way.
Yeah,
Well,
but
no.
what number Super Saiyan? What SSG?
I am actually what's considered Ascended Saiyan. It's called Super Vegeta in the game, but it's basically it's the next one after Super Saiyan, and then there's another one, and then there's Super Saiyan 2. Yeah,
Super Saiyan 2. That sounds like
I know,
a
it's
sequel.
stupid how it's just mindless fun, but
But
there's
that's almost as bad as Evil Ryu.
evil Ryu, slightly angrier than normal Ryu. But no, the game itself, it's like there's not a lot to the combos. There's not a lot thought to it, but when you can play with other people and you're moving around a big battle with like 3-on-3, chucking laser beams and like, you know, parrying blows, grabbing people, throwing them into another death laser. It's simple, euphoric fun with over-the-top voice acting.
I'm picking small bits up from this as, like, because we've got a couple of you that's playing it. I'm starting to pick little bits up. It's like learning a new language.
Yeah, Kamehameha.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
When I'm going on about Pokemon and stuff, it's very similar.
Well, actually, I'm playing as a Vegeta-based character, so I'm using Gallic Gun.
Yeah. Because when I looked at the game, it reminded me of an old fighting game I used to have called Psychic Force, when you used to just float around in a cube and fight.
That's literally it. Float around in a cube and beat people up.
Yeah, looking at it, right, from what little I played of Virtual On, I'm getting that vibe with the whole moving around the battlefield with all these things.
So by that token of the imagination, it's also kind of a bit like Final Fantasy Dissidia.
Is it? I haven't played Dissidia at all.
Oh, right, yeah, because...
it was a PSP game, didn't own a PSP for a long time.
Yeah, Dissidia was like Virtual On with Final Fantasy characters. So
was
if
there
it's like...
flying around in that? I can't remember. I
yeah,
didn't play
there
it
was,
much, though.
actually. There was flying around...
And Cloud's already Super Saiyan to begin with, so...
Bizarrely, there wasn't flying around...
See, I got that one.
Virtual On.
I understood that joke.
Yeah. Go on, Harry, what have you been playing, dude?
I have been playing Toe Jam and Earl because it is... Yeah, mostly because we already have Toe Jam and Earl for the Mega Drive, like the actual Mega Drive console with the cartridge, and you put it in and you play it, and it's like great. But since we got a new TV a couple of months ago, plugging the Mega Drive into our TV, the sound and the picture aren't quite as good as when we had the CRT TV, which is no surprise. So it's been kind of depressing because when you want to play Toe Jam and Earl, you have to put up with like the really horribly harsh and distorted sound. So I finally caved and got it for Zablar from Xbox Live Arcade. So now we can play that and not have the distorted music, and it's just a great buddy wind down game. You might want to check out our Let's Play. That
Yeah,
was
we did
the
it over Christmas, didn't we? Yeah.
Steffel special, I believe. So yeah, check that out because
Plug!
yeah, because me and Jay play that with AD. But yeah, it's a great game.
Toe Jam's butt and Earl's
Toe
pants.
Jam's butt. But yeah, I've been in a bit of a chill out mood lately, so Toe Jam and Earl was a nice sedate one to do that too.
I'm right thinking the XBLA re-release came with the second game as well.
It
Yes,
did, yes.
it does.
But
What kind of game does that
I
play
don't
like?
care about that one.
The second one...
It's not like the
weird.
original, is it?
Right, so they were the developers, Greg Johnson and John Wursander, they were going to make Toe Jam and Earl 2, just like the first game again.
Why didn't they?
But it's Sega.
Kickstarter recently. They are.
Yeah, it's Sega because they're doing a new one. Sega at the time, them being the high and mighty because they were doing it on the Sega Mega Drive. They're like, okay, so that was good, but what's selling right now were sort of side-scrolling
Sonic the
action
Hedgehog.
games, and we want that lots of action, large characters as well.
Earl.
They're like, well,
Yeah.
okay.
So Toe Jam and Earl 2 being side-scrolling, collecty do shit.
Wow, that would piss me the fuck off.
Well, that's why I don't really care for it, because it's not what I liked about the first
Yeah,
game.
it's publisher pressure. really.
Incidentally, though, I have heard tell of a new Toe Jam and Earl game.
Yeah, there's a
coming out.
Kickstarter for it recently, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested about that because it seems like they're going to be going back to their roots a little bit with that. So I'm excited to see what happens.
But it's like going up to an artist who does like say classical music and say, right, your classical music is really good, but what's in right now is dubstep. And then just throw a violinist a fucking keyboard and go have at it like. That seemed like it was a stupid
Needed
decision.
more whoop.
Needs more. Whoop, whoop.
MC Brahms, yo.
MC Donald's.
MC Donald.
Sorry, silly joke from earlier. All right, okay, so let's go on to the big topic then.
Okay.
When you make a video game character, what do you do? And what I mean
we
by
don't all
this-
make video games, Steve.
No, but
Oh.
like for example, you start a new RPG or adventure game and you get to build your own character. What kind of things do you normally do?
Oh, that's potentially a big topic.
It is.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm being nominated. Am I? Okay, well, in my case, I play a lot of like Oblivion and Skyrim and Fallout games. And normally I go for a person who can access everything. You know, someone who can like hack all the computers or unlock all the doors.
You're a dirty all-rounder.
Yeah, I'm a dirty all-rounder who likes to hoard shit.
Oh, so you're not talking about so much as create a character, so much as what skills you go for?
No, not necessarily.
Alright, okay.
It's a vague... I mean,
Everything, like I say, yeah.
my combat skills generally vaguely go around either sniping people or punching them in the face. You know, I don't go for knives, but I will punch people in the face.
See, I differ from you there, because when I choose a character, I have pre-decided what personality they have, because I actually role play.
Yeah, that's another cool thing. I've always wanted to do that, you know, like impose my own kind of law on my character.
Yeah, I'll decide on a character type. Like when I played through Phantasy Star Universe, my character, I've forgotten her name. She was like this 8-foot tall beast woman, incredibly lesbian. That's just mainly because sort of anything that involved a dialogue choice where I could flirt with a female character, yeah, I do that. And like sort of. Okay, so she liked to get up and close to damage people. That was it. Absolutely nothing in the way of guns or magic text.
Melee.
Kind of thing.
Yeah,
all the melee, which sort of worked out because I didn't know beforehand about the beast characters having the sort of beast mode thing they can do.
Oh, like Bloody Roar's like weird thing, transform.
Yeah, something like that. As for appearance-wise, I almost exclusively go for female characters because. It's escapism. I mean, sort of, I guess if I could have chosen what I was born as, I probably would have been born a woman. And
you know you're encroaching in my territory here. I have big...
I am so sorry.
See, I kind of swing both ways. I'll just go whichever way I take my fancy there. And
But I totally get that, though. Because, okay, so here's the thing. I don't talk about it much because it's not really relevant, but I'm transgender. I'm pre-hormone treatment, and it kind of ties into what I used to do with characters. Wherever I got the opportunity to make a character, this was mostly in Guild Wars, I would make it as much like myself as possible, but the opposite sex. So I would make a male version of me. I would get it close to my appearance as possible, so like long brown hair, ponytail, but like manly, stubble, whatever. Because, you know, that's kind of how I saw myself, but I kind of didn't really think about it that deeply. So yeah, I just thought it was because I felt like, you know, it seemed more to make sense. As opposed to sort of character sort of traits, I tend to go for ranged weapons, ranged attacks. So he was an elementalist, which means I could shoot, you know, fire and brimstone down at people from a distance. And also a ranger, which means I could use a bow, which was also a distance weapon. But it also meant that I could tame a pet, which would get stuck in there and fight things. So sometimes when things are too busy fighting my pet, I will peck at them with my bow. So that's mostly it.
So you're like a pet tank. I think the term in the RPG terms is tank, isn't it? That goes in there and absorbs all the hits.
It's not really a tank. It was like a lion.
Yeah. A tank is basically you fill them full of HP. You always make them sort of divert enemy fire, so they can like. They
can draw aggro.
Yeah, so you can basically backstab all the other enemies with your good characters.
Pretty much, yeah. Only the line, you couldn't really, you couldn't extend the skills. Well, there wasn't any skills. You couldn't extend the hit points. It was just you got what you're given, so whatever.
I don't know how you think about it. With me playing Xenoverse, and I've just when you create a game character, what do you do? Okay, in that case, I've made a female character who focuses on beam attacks, right? And in a game that's mostly about aerial melee combat.
But it's Dragon Ball, isn't it? It's all beams.
Well,
beams that fight.
Some of the best moves are literally thumping the shit out of your opponent.
20 minutes of beam per episode minimum.
I thought it was like mostly
while they're firing the beam.
Yeah.
I thought that was before they were firing the beams.
And during and after.
And during and after.
Although after they tend to have a cigarette and say, you know,
it wasn't good for you, did
it?
Kakarot! Spark one up.
What does a scouter say about how sexy he is?
Over 9,000?
I did.
Sorry, over 9,000! No.
I did not think that through.
What do you do, Tom?
Mine sort of evolved with age, really, and I'm probably the opposite of what Steve's mentioned about being, well, what Jay said, being the dirty all-rounder. Whenever you got those characters where you have, like, where you first start out and you got a set amount of skill points, you put them in wherever you like.
Yeah.
I never just sort of put 2 or 3 in each one. I always have to be sort of overpowered in just one bit.
Oh,
So
When I
you
was
could just
younger,
fly.
it was just power.
It's all about the dirt gun with you, isn't it?
Yeah, younger, it was power. But with
When you're
characters
older,
now,
it's still power. Tom, you've seen your World of Tanks design.
On tanks, yes. On tanks, yes.
Yeah,
but
tell
with
them about the
people
dirt
now,
gun.
yes. I like to dirt people. Yes.
Any
The-
tank that has got a big fuck off gun that takes off like most of their health in one shot, yeah.
Yes.
That's Tom.
Yes.
So you're all about the power in your youth.
All about the
Okay,
crippling.
what do you argue about now? What do you say
Now
right now?
it's all sort of like being sneaky, like
And then
sneaking
derping
around
them.
and stealth. Yeah, so they can't see the dirt coming. Yeah.
Right.
But no, it's,
So you're a
it's
ninja with a
much
shotgun?
more sort of, yeah, much more sort of sneaky and tactical about things now. But definitely with the skill point thing, I always sort of just bunged them all in one bit.
It's funny you mention that because, I tend to I sort of role play, as I say. But when I was younger, because I was like really big Sonic the Hedgehog fan, I always used to max out my speed. Like seriously,
Yeah.
I'd have really piss weak sort of little slappy characters running around, running rings around.
So- poking
Basically,
people
just
in the
made
eye.
A blue-arsed fly buzzing around, and
Yeah.
bouncing off of people.
Hope them to peck them to death with 1,000 cuts. Yeah. See, I don't know. I mean, I'm too wide focused a lens, except for I like to unlock shit. I like to get all my things. I like to have trophies. Like in big open world RPG games, I've got like a fucking cabinet filled with random shit I've nicked from people's houses on display.
So I'm not quite like that. I like to make a good character that works and just stick with it. You know,
Yeah.
even when I get upgrades and, you know, or whatever, but if whatever I got works with me, I just won't bother and I would just stick with what I got because it's
So you just
reliable.
keep adding like an extra bolt on your armor as opposed to getting a new shiny set of armor kind of thing. Or
Well, it depends. I would max out my current comfortable thing as much as possible, but if there's like certain skills that are really good and I get new skills, I might try them, but I always end up going back to the ones that I really, really liked because they worked for me. You know, I mentioned about the fire and brimstone, you know, the fire attacks with the sort of fire raining from the sky were my favourite ones because they just seemed to work the way I worked.
you know what's awesome? Not one of us is the same as one another. We all have our own unique
Yeah.
approach
That's
to this.
amazing. That's why I said it's potentially a big topic because really,
Yeah,
There's so
Another
much.
reason for mine, sort of, with sort of saying blast it all on speed, is then because playing the game another time, I would then just blast it all in intelligence or
it's
in
kind
power.
of like an enforced
So it's-
role playing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it makes the game different as well. It makes you change instead of just, well, I'm average again, so I remember how I did this last time, and it just changes the game for me as well.
See, the problem is there, I'm too stuck in my ways. Every time I start up a game, I'm like, yeah, this time it will be different. This time I'm going to focus on cheese sandwiches. And I'll still
exactly
go
the
with
same.
Yeah.
I tried
fucking doing the
making
same
different
thing.
Guild Wars characters that weren't, you know, my elementalist that was like a gender-bent version of me, and I would get bored of them after a few days and just go back to my other
Yeah,
one.
Just go back to it.
some people like that.
Yeah.
What were you saying, sorry, Jay?
I've no idea. Well, I was about to say, before you mentioned the gender bent version of you, which I sort of forgot, I was about to say, you know, it's kind of refreshing that none of us are like, derp, I make me. But I guess even you're making changes there.
Well,
It's like-
I did make me, I just didn't cotton on until later on in
Yeah,
life.
So, yeah.
So guys, if you hear me on videos and my voice starts to break, now you know why.
Well, I guess. Should we summarise then that we are all very, very strange and stupid when it comes to our character designs, and we should go
Yeah.
with just pure,
And it's-
unadulterated
We're either
power?
all or nothing, or stuck in our ways, or do all the things.
And that's what character editors are
I
for.
think we have to. Yeah, I think more
That's what
games
they're
need
for.
that kind of thing, even when it's not necessary. Just the ability to make your own character that much more. You mean Terraria? Yeah, you can customise your character's genuine appearance and everything. Doesn't do fuck all to the game, but the fact that it's there.
The only actual change between genders is the voice.
Yeah,
Because
they had
you
to
can
go,
have every face, skin, hair, body type for both.
I like it when stuff does that because I was never into wrestling games, but my friend was, and so I made a character just so I could play with her on the wrestling game. And I liked that most of the outfits, not quite all of them, but all of the hairstyles for the men and women were available for the men and women.
Yep.
Another reason I like Saints Row. Same thing.
Yeah. I had a few of the wrestling
Anything is
games.
available for anybody.
Back in the day.
Because gender is a many layered thing.
We're kind of fringing on a very, very dense and in-depth topic, aren't we? Here.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to go too much into it because,
Well-
like I say, it's
I think just sort of to wrap this up and take it back to the games. I mean, that's kind of the amazing thing. Games being as they are, escapism. It's wonderful if you could, when you can make your character, because when you when you can customize them, it's absolutely great to just completely escape and be like who you want to be. There's absolutely no other circumstance
Be who
in
you
which
wanna be,
I'm going to be an
do what you
incredibly
wanna do.
sexy red-headed goth chick.
You do that, motherfucker.
Some people want to make it look just like them so they can experience them being in a fantasy world.
I know,
Or some
but I look in the
people,
mirror and I
you-
look boring as fuck.
Like
Yeah.
we've said, is
Want to be someone else.
completely the opposite to get that other kind of escape.
Okay, do you ever hit randomise?
No.
And just keep hitting randomise until one
it's got,
sticks?
No, it's got to be...
Oh.
No,
I
it
only
has
to
to
be my
be
vision.
meticulous.
I only
Yeah.
ever hit randomised for a laugh, and then I'll make
Yeah.
a proper one. Because they're always, like,
I don't know, sometimes,
bizarre.
especially ones when they go into in-depth and like sliders and how far your eyebrows are and your ears and your nose, and you end up looking like N. Martian.
I like that for MMORPGs because there's potentially a lot of players there, and it's nice to have that level of variance. When it's a smaller game that you're only going to meet like a few characters, that's unnecessary.
I know, I still like the idea that you can hit randomise. I mean, sometimes I will play it like a slot machine and keep hitting it until something goes, yeah! You
At
know?
least gives you sort of a foundation, and that's basically
And then
what
you
I want,
sculpt
and then-
it, you know.
Yeah.
Well, this has been FireButton.
Well, should we invite people to let us know what you guys do with characters? Because
Yeah,
Yeah, screw those guys.
I'm actually really curious to know what other people do. Because seriously, I don't think I've met any single person that does the same thing. So-
Comments section. We want to know.
In
Tell
fact,
us what you do. Tell us
There
what
it
you
is,
do when
down
you make
there, look,
characters.
down there, that's where it is. Scroll a bit. There, use that bit.
In fact, go onto our Facebook page, post pictures.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's even better.
Even better.
Yeah.
Or it didn't happen.
Alright, see you later, guys.
Bye.
Slayer.